Welcome to the Reseller Island podcast. My name is Jake, and I'm here with my two co-hosts, Shane and Keith.
What's up,
Soda
guys?
Sport Flips,
Soda Sport
Good.
Flips.
which is
I
we're
There
just
like
you
it.
go.
we're mashing,
Yeah, there you go.
or Vintage City Flips. Which do you prefer?
Yeah. Vintage
Vintage
City's
City
got
sounds really good. Yeah,
What's your
yeah.
guys' Bradgelina name?
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah, Vintage City actually sounds legit.
I'm thinking of it to the tune of like, what's that? Is it Guns N' Roses? Welcome to Paradise
Oh yeah.
City. That's
Yeah,
what in
Yeah.
my head. That's the tune for the intro.
I think that one's just called Paradise City, and I think you combined Welcome to the Jungle with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't. Yeah,
Welcome to the Paradise City.
yeah.
Dude, Guns N' Roses. That is that like right in the middle of your guys' era, or they're a bit older, right?
Now that's my youth. Like they were like when I was middle school, probably they were pretty big.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was
Yeah.
gonna say I would have been 10 or so probably when they got super popular, and I was a fan, don't get me wrong. I had a big brother, my stepbrother. He passed away about 25 years ago, but um he's the one who got me listening to all that stuff because he was a big Tesla fan and
Mhm.
Guns N' Roses and all kind of hair bands, heavy metal bands, stuff like that. He's the one that got me interested in that kind of music to begin with.
That was
Yeah.
my dad's life when he was my age and younger. I think he said that he's gone over to like over 600 concerts
Oh wow,
of,
that's
of
awesome.
I've probably
heritage metal.
I've probably been to about 100, but man, I couldn't imagine 600.
Now he said he would go to one almost every single weekend from the age of 14 to 24.
No,
Heck
no
yeah,
concert,
man.
no concert tees in the closet or anything, right?
No, dude,
No.
unfortunately, because he does this full time now as well. He
Oh
has a
yeah,
great reseller, and he kicks himself every day because he had dozens of them, but
I bet.
just
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
just
used
got
to
rid
have
of
a
them to
bunch
lose.
now that from the 90s that I wish I would have never got rid of, man, cuz I got rid of my stuff years and years before I discovered reselling. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but lots of heavy metal bands and like, Slayer and Iron Maiden, big name bands, Metallica and stuff that I've been to their shows and always got a shirt and never held on to them.
Yeah.
I had that the classic Nirvana shirt in high school with the baby in the swimming pool on the
Oh yeah.
Nevermind album, and I never threw it away. It was in my closet when I moved out, but my closet was full of my mom's clothes when I went back there last, so I assume it's gone. That's a rare shirt or an expensive
Yeah, it
shirt
is.
at least.
They did a like where are they now kind of thing on that album cover and like that baby or whatever,
Yeah,
they showed
yeah,
him as an adult or whatever. It's kind of
yeah,
weird.
So
We've seen your wiener because
yeah,
they
dude,
didn't blur it out.
he pops up on the internet every once in a while. And he's like, "Hey guys, I'm the Nirvana baby. What's up?"
that's pretty cool.
But I just had a negative feedback removed.
Oh, nice.
So
I'm
I
working.
someone returned a pair of eyeglasses that I sent them, and they didn't send it in the original packaging that I did, so they got crushed on the way back. So they were completely useless and broken. So I only refunded them half, and they wrote me and said, "Hey, why did I only get a partial refund? You said they were crushed, but I still feel like I deserve a full refund. I'll dispute this if I have to." And I said, "All right, go ahead and dispute it." And then they responded, "Well, it looks like I'll be leaving you a review as well." And then I just said, "Okay," and then blocked them. Because we all know that as the buyer gets protections on eBay, so do the sellers. They're not as nice as the buyer protections, but part of the seller protections is that if someone leaves you a negative feedback, but you refunded them, even if it's only half, then the seller protections are enacted. And that negative was up for about 90 seconds, and now she's gone.
There
Wow,
you
that
go.
was
Nice.
fast. So I'm dealing with the same thing. I've got a return coming back to me. It's a pretty fancy like desk phone for an office or something. And I sold it new open box, and it was new open box. This thing had never been used, it had never been unpackaged. It was just the box had been open.
Yeah.
Sold it for like, I don't know, $60 roughly, maybe a little less. But this dude, I mean, comes out of left field. I say screaming, it's all caps, right? In
Oh, yeah, so he
comment
actually is
back in the
internet
messages.
screaming.
Yeah. So he's screaming at me about how I'm a POS and that I scammed him and he's demanding his money back. And I have a video coming out where I'm talking about this. And I don't hold anything back on my channel. I give his name and the town he lives in, his username, everything. I don't care. He ended up leaving me a pretty harsh feedback, but he threatened me with negative feedback if I didn't refund him immediately, like 8 different times. And I reported him every time he did it. I just kept reporting and reporting. And I finally just got a hold of somebody with eBay on the phone, and I'm like, look, man, please take a look at this. I want to get this feedback removed. And the guy, what was his name? I can't remember the guy's name. Lonnie, I believe, from eBay, was super kind, super helpful. And he's like, yep, this is going to be taken down, no problem. Give us 24 to 48 hours. It's
You
still
guys
there.
heard it here first.
today.
Lonnie Shed Flips is now working as an eBay rep.
Here we go. That's the
Side
only
hustle
time
on his side hustle. Let's go.
It's been 24 hours, and my negative feedback's still sitting there. So we'll see.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess just because I have my contacts as a top of the line YouTube influencer. Everyone believes that eBay is in my back pocket. So
Yeah.
after only about 2 minutes, my feedback was removed.
It's all you and Commonwealth Flipper, right? You guys
And Rally Roots.
equal share.
People go hard on Ryan, dude. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's just because eBay's in your back pocket." And he's like, "Bro."
mine always comes off quick when I get them. I mean, I think I have one right now that didn't come off, or maybe I didn't even try to get it off because I felt like I was at fault. But I did have someone reach out to me recently, sort of like in a nasty tone, similar to Shane's message, probably, that they said, look, if you don't give me a refund, I'm going to leave you negative feedback, or give me a partial refund. I'm like, so you're saying if I don't give you a partial refund, you're going to leave me negative feedback? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, that's called feedback extortion. That's against eBay policy. And then I never heard from the guy again. I don't know. He didn't leave me negative feedback, didn't ask for a return. So
yes, yeah, I mentioned all that stuff in my replies to him. I'm like, look, dude, first off, don't demand anything from me. All you need to do is open return. I'll gladly accept the return. And once I get the item back and see it's not damaged, all this, I'll gladly refund you as well. I'm trying to be as polite and as customer service representable as I can. And this dude is just eating me alive, man. And I'm like, dude, if this wasn't my business in the streets, you wouldn't talk to me like this. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be polite, and he just kept on. And finally I just ignored him. He had left the negative feedback during this whole conversation. Once I realized he had already left it, I was like, all right, I'll just deal with eBay, and that's what I've been doing. So hopefully they take it down. What is
your guys' feedback score right now?
Well, mine was 100% until yesterday.
Let me check mine.
It's 99.9 or 8 or something.
Let's see. I am 99.7 with this one.
With just one?
Yep.
Well, you gotta sell more. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm 99.9. I have 8,000. Let's see, 8,009.
I am 98.6.
Yeah, I've only got a 761 feedback. Out of the thousands of items I've sold in 3 years, only 761 people left feedback. That's something I wish they required, like somehow required
like
you to do. Yeah.
I mean, I know people hate on Mercari or say that it's dead over there. It's slower than eBay, but I get a lot of sales on Mercari every single week. I can foresee a day where I have more feedback on Mercari than I do on eBay because they require the feedback.
Yeah,
you get automatic, right? If the buyer doesn't actually leave it
after 3 days, it's just
automatic. Yeah, see, I wish eBay would do something like that because there's so many people out there like me who's had thousands of sales and only 761 people have left feedback.
Generally, I've seen it's about 25% of people leave feedback.
Yeah,
it seems about right. Do you guys have your automatic?
Sorry, that's what I was about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. I have mine set to automatic. After they buy, it leaves a positive for them.
Yeah,
me too.
I don't want to be bothered. Not that. I mean, it's part of good customer service is leaving feedback on our side as well. But I don't have time to sit there and go through every sale, so I just put it on automatic and let it go.
Yeah. I don't understand why people are so hung up on like having 100% feedback or close to it, because obviously you got to do your best to provide customer service for people. But man, if you got a 98.6% on your science test, you're pumping.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
It was really like tech and sports and daily refinement like hammered at home, like, oh, if you don't have 100% positive feedback, you should be ashamed of yourself. And now tech and sports doesn't even have 100% positive feedback. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about my feedback rating as long as it's, in the high 90s. But this guy's actual negative and I just need 20 more feedback and it'll disappear off the first page or whatever. But if people see it, I mean, it looks bad. Like this dude just on and on and on. It's like a whole paragraph about how I scammed him and ripped him off and how I was rude and refused to return his money to him and just made me look like a horrible seller. You know what I mean? So I want that one gone.
Yeah. I get it. I get that. Yeah. I mean, as a buyer though, I never look at anyone's feedback. I mean,
Right.
yeah, I don't know who does really. I mean, maybe if you're a brand new eBay buyer, maybe you do, but
Yeah, I don't think I do unless it's like if I'm buying a highly expensive, just say since we're all familiar with cards, if I'm buying a expensive box, I may look and make sure this guy's not, getting feedback saying that these are resealed packs. You know what I mean? Like I may make
yeah,
sure
that
if I'm
makes
going to
sense.
spend money like that, but on my everyday purchases, I don't check that stuff. I just got some golf head covers in the mail. I didn't look. I didn't look at all. They came from China. They're absolutely amazing quality. I love them. And they were cheap. And
AliExpress.
I don't know where they came from. China is all I know. And I don't care. Like if it's stuff that I'm going to use like that, I don't care. I don't
Yeah,
care what
that
kind of
makes sense.
feedback. You can have, a lot of negative feedback, but that don't mean it's always legit either. Like this guy that left me negative feedback, like I didn't scam him. I didn't refuse his money. He's refusing to return the item without the refund. That's the difference he's leaving out. So
Yeah.
people
I have a
getting their
negative
feelings.
feedback. I have a negative feedback right now that says it's a what's even funnier is it's a international sale. So these are supposed to be automatically taken off as well, but dude, negative feedback really doesn't matter. I don't know why people deal about it, but it says, I haven't received my order. The latest delivery date says it's stuck somewhere in the US. It's like, well, yeah, it's an international order. Oh, man. So I have an assistant that just takes those down for me whenever I want him to. So he's gonna go talk to eBay about this one because it's stupid. But
Yeah.
like, there's a good chance that
weird.
eBay just doesn't take it down, and it's whatever. I don't care.
Well, speaking of eBay, and I briefly mentioned to Keith before you jumped on, eBay's got some issues going on right now. I don't know if you're aware, Jake. I've been
Is this an episode of the reseller, the My Boring Reseller Life turned into the Great Reseller Life turned back into James? I forgot his last name. I think his YouTube channel is just
Heiferstay.
his name now, right?
Yeah.
What is it?
Heiferstay, I believe.
Heiferstay. Oh yeah.
Um,
All right.
but
What are
no,
the issues? Why
so
are our items not selling?
well, it's well, I don't know if it's got anything to do with not selling, but I've been trying to list all day, and I can't list anything. I'm basically creating drafts, but none of the photos are uploading. I reached out. So Grams and Pops Vintage have a Discord channel, and there's, I don't know, about 20 people over there. So all YouTubers, but they're all having the same issues. They can't get their listings done because the photos aren't showing up. If you actually list it, your photos don't show up.
Mm.
So I'm having to build draft banks right now and hope that these photos, because it says the photos are done, they're just not showing. It says draft photo on the photo, but you can't see anything. So I can show you right now in my
Mine's doing that
draft.
too. My top two.
Yeah.
I just drafted those like 30 minutes ago.
Here's how they're looking on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I tested it out and I tried to go ahead and push it through to make them live, and the same thing happened. There was no photos, and I was like, well, let me take them back down, and I'll just keep listing, but they're just all drafts until whatever's going on gets fixed. But everybody over in Grams and Pops Vintage Discord channel is saying they're having the same problem. I've only had 2 sales today, and one of them was an offer I sent, and he hasn't paid yet. I don't know if if that's him, he just hasn't paid, or if he can't get his payment to go through, kind of thing, because eBay's having issues. But I got 2 sales, and I know I got them because they came to my phone notifications, but it doesn't show me on eBay that I got sales today. So I don't know what all's going on, but I know I'm having issues with a couple different things on eBay right now.
It's funny you said that
I
because I
don't know
got
if it's affecting any sales or not, but it's
Yeah.
affecting me being able to list is my biggest concern.
I had an item I got an offer on that my photo wasn't showing up on that item in the offer in the listing, and I'm like, what's going on? And I had to click
Yeah.
around, and finally it came up. So there must be something overall. That wasn't a draft. That was already an active item.
Yeah.
So there must be a glitch for
Yeah,
sure.
I've noticed
No, James
everything
is
I
on it.
send.
36 minutes ago, photos on eBay are not loading, cannot list and upload pictures, once a year problem.
Oh, so he's dealt with it before. I don't remember ever dealing with it. Once a year, I guess.
Once a year.
But yeah, I noticed that too, Keith, when sending out offers. None of my photos were there either. But I was like,
Yeah.
well, these listings are already live, so I know the photos exist. But because these drafts that I'm not trying to make a draft bank, but I'm making a draft bank because I'm worried the photos actually didn't upload. So if I push them live, it's just listings without photos, and I don't know, it's weird. Hopefully they get it fixed though, because I want to get my listings done. I went sourcing today and met Lindsay. We went to the grocery store, and then afterwards I got home and started listing golf clubs, and none of them are actually going live.
That's frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had to do work twice. When I went to look at eBay on to see if my photos in the dress were showing up, I saw there was a message for someone that a poster that they had bought from me, the tube got crushed and the poster's all creased.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys do in that kind of circumstance? I was just, obviously I'll tell them to return it or refund them, but do you ever have them like just take it to the post office and file an insurance claim on would the buyer return it to the post office in that sense?
No,
I always, that's what I was gonna say. I always take care of that myself. Like I shipped out a fairly expensive golf club a couple of months ago. I think I talked about it in one of my videos. It's about a $75 golf club plus shipping. This guy's in for like $90, and because I charge $14.99 flat rate. And UPS looks like they drove over the box. Like the dude sent me pictures before he opened it, and he's like, "I just want to show you this." And of course, he opens it, and the golf club's a U shape. And so I refunded him immediately. I didn't even wait to get it back because I knew it was going to be jacked up. So I refunded him immediately. He sent it back to me. I had him send me photos of everything before he opened it. Everything, because I've dealt with UPS before. I know what photos they're going to ask for. And I haven't done it yet, but that's something I got to do, is get with them and get that. I've had it one other time. I sent out about $100 stereo unit. I think it was just a receiver, and I don't remember the brand, or I think it was a Kenwood or something, but it had got damaged. Looked the same thing. Looked like the box had been run over. So I wasn't going to pay for that to get shipped back, but I refunded the guy and had him send me all the photos, and it was no problem getting my money back from UPS. It was quite simple, actually.
In this circumstance, I have like a ton of these posters. I have like 80 of them. So I was thinking about just refunding him fully and say, just and file it and claim on my end with the post office, and have him try to drop it off at his post office. Sometimes they'll require the item in hand, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Outside of December, they do. Inside of like December and January, where they're super swamped and are making
too busy,
it's automatic. But okay. I have an assistant who takes care of all of this for me. I've talked about him a lot on the podcast before. He and I actually recorded a podcast. His name's John. That if the three of us ever miss a week, we've got that in the background.
Cool.
Ready to record.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, so he just, in that situation, he would just automatically refund the buyer and then ask them, say, hey, I'm sure you're not lying to me. I just need photos just so I can use them, possibly use them in the claims process. So if you could just send me a few photos, that'd be great. And then he just files the USPS claim, and then I get a check in the mail. And it's
Nice.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happens for UPS. And I've never had one with USPS, but I've also never had.
USPS
I've
is
only
even easier than UPS.
Yeah. That's what I've
okay,
experienced. Yeah.
and I've only had this happen twice so far, but both times the buyers were completely willing to take photos and take time out of their day to send them to me. So that was cool. Well, now one guy was kind of a jerk to me. I sent him the wrong golf club. So you guys know I buy a lot of golf clubs. I get a lot of duplicate golf clubs, but and Jake, they have different grips, different shafts, all this stuff. It could be the exact same club, with the exact same shaft, but then there's a different grip. And that I sent somebody, he ordered a TaylorMade OS 9-iron, a rack, and I sent him. This was supposed to have a graphite regular flex shaft on it, and I sent him a steel flex stiff. And he sends me a message like being a complete jerk. And I'm like, "Hey, sorry, man. I sell a lot of clubs. And I said, but let me look at my video." I told him, I record every order pull, and this helps me if I do make mistakes. I can go back and look. So I go to my YouTube video. I see that I did. I pulled out the steel shaft and not the graphite that he ordered. So I said, "Hey, man, completely sorry. Please open a return. I'll cover the shipping cost. Send it back to me. I'll refund you and send you the other club free of charge." Just trying to be good customer service.
I mean, you got that good margin from ripping off that old lady.
Yeah, exactly. And
It's all gravy at that point.
I don't have, and these clubs weren't part of that buyout, but I still only have like $2 into it. So it's like I'm out $15. $15 on shipping and a $2 club. Not a big deal. So he sends the club back. I'm at the Kentucky Derby. It gets delivered. I went ahead and refunded him, even though I couldn't verify he sent me a golf club.
Yeah.
I went ahead and refunded him and sent him a message, and I'm saying, "Hey, I received your club. I'm not home, to get the package, but it is at the house. I went ahead and refunded you, but I'm in Kentucky for the Derby. I'll be home late Sunday night. So your club won't get shipped out till Monday, Tuesday at the latest." And Monday, I mean, I had barely woken up and this guy's messaging me, "When you going to ship my club?" I'm like, "Dude, first off, I don't have to send it to you. I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart because I screwed up your order. I refunded you. That's all I needed to do. Don't be a jerk." But he was. And of course, he never replied back. He never left feedback, none of that stuff, but whatever. People are weird, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it doesn't excuse when people pay for something, they have the right to get their money back or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's just like how you treat people is, if you truly want to be happy, just love other people. The people that are pissed off at restaurants because they asked for a ranch and the waitress forgot it, and so she had to go back for an additional 95 seconds and get them their ranch. It's like, just chill, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or it's in this situation, it's like, just have a good day, man. Yes, these circumstances are causing you to have a bad day, but you are the one who decides what emotion. There's space between the emotion and the reaction. You're the one that's deciding to be a dick and have a bad day about this golf club, and you don't have to have a bad day, my guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like people say, put good out in the world and good will come back to you.
Yeah.
I
Here's a hack. When you're at restaurants and you're getting a steak, order medium. So if they overcook it, it's okay, medium well, and if they undercook it, then it's medium rare and it's great. So if you just put it at medium, you're gonna get a pretty decent steak every time. And you don't have to send it back.
That's true. Yeah. Strategic with your orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the average, unless you're going, is Ruth's Chris, is that nationwide or is that just a West?
I think so. I believe so.
So if you're going to Ruth's Chris and if you ask for a medium, you're gonna get medium. If you ask for medium rare, you're gonna get medium rare. But if you're going to Applebee's or Chili's and you ask for medium, it will be medium well or medium rare. It's not gonna be what you asked for. And if you just go for the mid, everything in between is pretty decent too. So
yeah, I like Ruth's.
But a lot of times you'll ask. I used to ask. My wife asks for medium well, and it comes well. almost every time. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, if you just get medium, then they'll probably be medium well most of the time. It's good stuff. Got the Air Force.
Yeah,
Give
hear
us
it.
some drills.
I hear it. Yeah.
I did a.
I don't miss that. I used to live next to an airport,
Oh
the
yeah.
Columbia Metropolitan Airport here. That's where we grew up, like in that area. The airport was 5 miles from the house. Every plane seemed to come over the house. And eventually you just kind of got used to it, I guess, and you never heard them. But now I'm out in the country. There's no planes out here. It's nice. It's quiet.
Yeah, I grew up with a train right behind my house, and when people would come over, they would like notice the train occasionally. I never noticed it ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
That's my
when it comes to
sister. They live literally the train track is like 100 feet off their back porch, and like the house vibrates and shakes and all that stuff, and they don't notice it at all. Everybody else is like holding on to stuff.
Growing up, my neighbors had 7 Great Danes, which
Oh wow,
was
That's a
against
lot of big dogs.
it's against city
Yeah.
ordinance for sure, but they didn't care. But so my room was the farthest wall closest to their house, and they were mostly outdoor dogs, so they were outside all the time at night, and they would just bark really loud and stuff, but I just never noticed it because it was my life. And then I
Yeah.
had one of my friends sleeping over. It was in high school, and he just like we're starting to go to sleep, and he's just like he looks at me, and I'm like, what? And he's like, you don't hear those freaking dogs? I'm like, oh yeah, sorry. He actually drove home because they were just so loud.
Oh wow, that's
He's like,
crazy.
yeah, I can't sleep here, man. So, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I guess if you don't have that kind of noise in the background of your life, you know, I grew up with planes. You had dogs. Keith had a train. Like
Yeah,
people don't grow up around that kind of stuff. I guess you notice everything. And I remember moving to that house close to the airport from where we did live, and for the first few months we heard every single plane, you know, that came over top. But eventually it just was part of your life, like you said, and you don't even notice it anymore.
But now we're all content creators. When we get upset if the driver was shooting a video.
Yeah,
At least Paige does 1 foot flipper.
I was running a live show my last live show I did on First Class Treasures, and my wife had the dishwasher. She was getting ready to start it, and she's like, "Is this going to bother you?" I was like, "No, I don't care."
Yeah.
So, you know, live selling, people expect to hear kids and dogs and all kinds of stuff in the background when you're live
Even
selling.
your YouTube video, like it's a little bit of white noise. People don't mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
They really don't. Dude, I didn't know how I was in such a sassy mood. I'm calling out all the content creators.
All the content creators.
Who's next?
So one time I went to a yard sale, and I chew gum when I'm driving, or like when I first get in the car, then I spit it out in the car. And I hit the surprise yard sale one time, and I wasn't expecting it. Forgot I was chewing gum, and it wasn't even noticeable to me when I was editing the video that I was chewing gum on the video. But man, the hate comments in this video were like,
Oh, try driving from a flea market to the Goodwill bins with your wife in the passenger seat, and you'll see some hate comments, dude.
Oh, yeah.
People hate that Josh. Like, why are you recording while you're driving? That's so dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I plan on doing some snake content for members only.
oh,
And
cool.
there's a thing we do in the field herpetology world called cruising. And what that means is you just get in your car and you go out at nighttime or daytime or whatever and look for snakes crossing the road. It's called road cruising.
Mhm.
And I plan on doing some of that. And I'm already like, the camera's got to be rolling, you know, when you're driving, either it's facing you and you're talking to people, or it's facing the road so they can see things crossing, or, you know, see things that you're pulling up to. But either way, there's going to be people hating on me just for having the camera on while I'm driving. Needless to say, well, I shouldn't say needless to say, just so everybody that knows, if they do see that content, is you're going like 5 miles an hour. You know, it's not like I'm doing 45 hanging out the car door, you know, trying to grab things as I drive by. I'm, you know, we're literally going 5 miles an hour because you don't want to run over anything that you potentially come across. So, but yeah, I'm going to do that for members only, I think.
That's cool. I like it.
On your OnlyFans?
Yeah. Yep. Members only fans, come and check out my snake.
Nice. Did
I have 2.
someone was talking about like OnlyFans and cooking on First Class Treasures the other day, and then I said, "Oh, only pans." And then Mike, I think it was Mike PB. He's like, "Oh, that's actually an account. Yeah, her name's OnlyFans."
Oh wow.
That's hilarious. Only pans.
Gotta love it. My wife just got home.
Nice. Mine's watching TV. I can hear.
It's probably about a bad strategy for like a content creator who is an OnlyFans creator as well. Have like a cooking channel, but then you have like the apron falls off on the OnlyFans channel, right? It's sort of a lucrative idea, probably.
Oh no, I'll bet you a ton men would pay $18 to have a naked woman cook him a grilled cheese sandwich. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Exactly. That's funny.
That's just that to ADH Dave's Kitchen.
I could see Dave with an only pans.
Yeah.
Only pans.
I don't know if Tina'd be too thrilled about that idea though.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I sold some hats on the Ray train today on Dib the Threads with Commonwealth Picker, and he sold an awesome hat that was a Reds hat that John Cincinnati Picker gave to him when he reached 100,000 subs, and he signed it. John, the Cincinnati Picker, and then he auctioned it off on the stream. I couldn't bid. I tried to bid on my other phone, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. But Dan and the Man got it, and Kevin signed it for Dan too. So pretty cool hat.
Oh, what did
That's
it go
awesome.
for? Do you remember?
It's like $18, I think, something like that. Yeah, it was cheap. Yeah, went for more.
I saw Kevin on Facebook. I just saw it today. I don't know when he made this post. I'm assuming it was something he found this past weekend, but 50-cent Stephen King book at a yard sale. Opens it up, it's freaking autographed.
Oof.
That's thousands. And if it's a first edition, oh dude. I don't know what book it was. He only showed, the open page with it, to Brad or whoever he signed to. Man, those books do so well.
Does he not sign a lot?
Not these days. He used to sign more back in the 80s, early 90s. He was signing stuff, but he doesn't really do book shows anymore, like book signings or whatever. They'll set up at the bookstores. He doesn't really do that anymore. He's in his 70s or whatever. But you find a first edition Stephen King book, especially one of the big ones, like Cujo, for instance, or It, something like that, The Shining. Those things sell for thousands and thousands of dollars, and he got one for 50 cents.
That's dope.
I heard him bring it up. I think he said he might run it on Dibdit or somewhere. It probably was Dibdit. I assume that's where he would run it.
No, if it goes for thousands, you got to put that on eBay.
Yeah. But Dave with his brick, Dave's trying to run the brick over there, right? I mean, he's just off of eBay completely, but Kevin's not, obviously. So you can't turn away the big dollar.
Somebody's gonna get a good deal on that brick if he's letting that thing go.
Well, I think it was put as a buy it now on Dibdit. I believe it's not like an auction.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I'd throw that on eBay. I'd open my eBay store back up for that one. You know what I mean?
Gotta make some exceptions.
Yeah. I get, and I'm not saying that he's being stubborn or anything, but like he's been saying, I'm done with eBay. I'm done with eBay. I'm done with eBay. So I get wanting to stick to his guns. But if it was me, I'd be signing back into eBay real quick for that one item.
I will say from his perspective, I do a little bit what he does as far as like bringing stuff right to Dibdit, but most of that stuff has already been profit for me, the stuff in the warehouse. So I don't really care what it brings. And I'm not getting ADH Dave dollar on the stuff anyway. He's going to get a little premium because of his following.
Yeah.
But when time I bring anything from that I buy at the flea market that I bring right to Dibdit, it generally I'm getting my money back. I'm not making a ton of money. It's hard to buy flea market prices and sell right on live stream. Yard sale is probably a different story. Yard sales definitely you get more upside.
Yeah, you can get a little better deal at a yard sale most of the time.
Yeah.
I find golf clubs at the flea market sometimes that are profitable for me, but it's very rare. I found the only time I've ever found I was about to say Scotty Cameron putter was at the flea market, and that guy knew what he had. And they generally do, because most of the flea market, you'll find people there selling, just trying to spring clean and get rid of stuff. They don't want people coming to their house, so they'll set up at the flea market. But most of the times, it's the same vendors every weekend, and they know what they got. But I have found some pretty good deals at the flea market, but usually yard sales are where I make most of my money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yard sale season has been great already.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. There's a extremely large neighborhood. They must be getting ready to throw down. The neighborhood's called Brookdale. I'm gonna throw this out there. I don't know how many people watch or in my area, but they've got like a 10 by 12 giant banner hanging in trees in front of their neighborhood sign that's advertising this sale this weekend. So I'm expecting big things out of that one. It's one of the largest neighborhoods in the area. Not like big money houses or anything, but lots and lots of people, and it's supposed to be a huge sale. So
is it middle
looking forward
class,
to that
upper
one.
middle class?
I'd say middle class people.
Yeah, middle class is the best. Like
Yeah.
established older middle class is the best for sure.
Now,
Got a
and
lot of stuff.
you gotta understand prices here versus where you live or where
Oh,
you
yeah.
live.
What
Keith,
is like a middle class house? Is that like 300,000 or is it?
I'd say anywhere, but yeah, between 2 and 3, and these houses are probably right at $200,000 houses.
Yeah,
So
middle class here and where I live is 580 to 700,000.
yeah, see that's crazy.
And then like I'd consider a wealthier house starts at 800,000, and then
Yeah.
like a starter home is 450,000.
Yeah,
Wow.
see, no, you can't here. People don't get paid enough to even have a starter house at 450,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People around here say that they just got out of college and they're hitting the grind for their job and stuff. Now they're either in an apartment or they're
Dude, if
in
I
like
if
a
I could find
$150,000 starter house.
if starter homes were $300,000 here in Salt Lake, I'd buy like 4 of them tomorrow, dude. Like
Yeah.
that'd be awesome to get $300,000 for a nice house. Sick.
Yep.
But yeah, this townhouse that we're in, it's just a 3-bedroom. It has a 2-car garage, which is nice, but I
Yeah.
think it's like 1,500 square feet, and it was $442,000
Oh wow.
for basically
Yeah.
basically an
That's
upgraded apartment.
I haven't looked at houses in a long time in my area, but I think I'm probably similar to Jake's range, maybe a little bit lower, but not much lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our problem is we have a ton of Californians realizing how awesome Utah is. So they sell their $1.2 million 2-bedroom house, and they come here and they're like, I can have a 5-bedroom for 800,000. I can
Yeah.
have an incredible house and pocket $400,000. Let's do it. I can
Yeah.
do it with a little bit of snow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
went to an estate sale a few weeks ago, and the house was up for sale too. It's on Lake Murray, on the lake. Very, very big house. 1.8 million is for sale for. And I could imagine that same house, say on Lake Tahoe or somewhere out in California, is probably, more 6-7 million range. Because 1.8, I mean, that's a lot of money for most people, but that's a lot of money in South Carolina, period. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a whole lot of people here that make that kind of money that a year that can afford the payments on that. So
Yeah.
it was crazy.
1.8 million. Did that be like what? $18,000 a month mortgage? That'd be insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny too. My mom and stepdad bought their house on Lake Murray here 20 something years ago, and now my mom's passed and my stepdad still lives out there, but I forget what they paid for it 20 years ago, but it was fairly cheap to be on the lake. And of course, it's worth more now, but their idea was, when my stepdad passes, that everything's just going to get sold off and then split between all the kids. So my sister and I, and then my stepbrother and my stepsister.
That's gonna be some money. Is it like a lake house that they have like their backyard is the lake, or is it just pretty
Yeah.
close to it? Oh yeah,
No,
that's
it's
money.
on the lake. Yeah.
That's money, man.
That's
So
awesome.
it's beautiful out there. Good fishing, good neighborhood. Like it's not even a neighborhood; it's a cul-de-sac. Basically, it's a road comes in the cul-de-sac, and every house is on the lake, and then it goes, leads back out. So it's
That's awesome.
it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. It's nice. They used to have a dog out there named Newt. Nobody knew where Newt came from, but he was a golden retriever. And when my parents first moved there and they bought that house, Newt was just a neighborhood dog, and everybody just kind of took care of him. They don't know where he came from. He just showed up and never left. So everybody was taking care of Newt. Newt was a super friendly dog, but Newt became friends with a goose. And anytime Newt loved people, so he always wanted to, get loved on and stuff. And he would come up to you, and that goose would freaking attack you, bro. It was crazy. You try to love on Newt, and you can't get close to him because this dang goose, it's one of them Canadian geese, would just light you up, man, all over you. It was crazy.
That's funny.
One of my favorite places in all of America is Apple Valley Lake in just outside of Columbus, Ohio. When I was doing summer sales, I would typically spend a day, maybe two, in a neighborhood. But every year I would go to this lake and I would just knock every house on the lake for like 3 weeks straight, just because it's such a beautiful place. And
Yeah.
And all the people like were like, oh yeah, no, the bug guy's back. It was awesome.
The bug guy.
The bug guy. What was awesome was my manager was, 6 foot, blonde hair, blue eyed, and then he sold for 4 years in Columbus before I got there, and then when I started knocking my first year, they're like, nope, you were here last year and it's still a no. I'm like, I'm not him.
That's funny.
Yeah, dude. Good old summer sales. I miss it, but I hate it. I'll never do it again. But every once in a while, I'll just drive by a new construction neighborhood, be like, man, I should just go knock those doors, just sell some pest control. But I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am. I spent 27 years in the same industry, and ever since I got laid off, I'm like, I'd never want to go back. It was good to me for 27 years. I absolutely loved it, but I never want to go back to it. If that makes sense. And I guess to Jake it does.
Oh yeah. So how are you doing on the full-time job thing? Do you think you're gonna go snag one, or are you making enough with
I'm
DoorDash?
still hanging in there right now. I haven't even DoorDash since it's been about a month. So I've been hanging. I mean, this golf club buy definitely helped. That's brought in a lot of money. So if I can keep finding, so now that yard sale season's popping, I think I should be able to find enough to keep making this work at least for a little while longer, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But for now, I still haven't put any applications in.
I mean, there's some guys. So like Kevin's a prime example. There's a lot of other people that they only do yard sales for sourcing, and like it gets them through every day of the week plus winter. And if you can just find really good stuff during the summer, you can do it, I guess. I just I list too many items that I got to go to thrift stores and stuff, but my thrift stores are good. So.
Yeah, you got to explore all avenues when you're doing it full time, I'm sure, right? I mean, it's off season stuff. You got to have other options, storage units or whatever it is.
Yeah,
so, I might do
that's something I want to get back into.
I might do a series where I don't leave my house for sourcing for a month, because I think you can make a full-time living.
Oh yeah,
sniping things. Deal Soldier is really awesome. First Class Treasures, I've been sourcing a ton of items, and then just ebay.com, just typing in lots, scrolling through. I think I could make $1,000 a day just from online sourcing.
I know Alex Beard King Picker was doing it for a while.
Yeah.
And that's why he got back into selling on eBay, because he was just selling on Amazon, but he was just online sourcing all day, every day. And I think I don't want to talk out of line, but I think he had said, and he said this on an episode of their podcast, I believe he said $15,000 a month he was making just on cat food.
Yeah,
buying and selling cat food. So
yeah,
like, I know you can do it. You just got to be willing to put in the work and grind it out.
But how awesome it is a spot like District, First Class Treasures, Dibbed It, whatnot, for for anyone with a disability or people with like Anthony with no vehicle, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could really, if you have some capital to start you off, you could have a successful reselling business, like Jake's saying, from your desk,
Cat
from your
food.
couch, cat food. Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
I made $26,000 selling Dr. Pepper last year. So
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Dr.
That's
Pepper coconut.
all those different flavors that come out. Yeah, and I never did
Yeah.
get to try that one.
Yep, it's
And
because
never
it didn't
found it.
sell anywhere outside of Utah and Kentucky. So it just kept.
Oh, I think we
shipping
talked
to
about that.
Utah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I wanted to try it and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
profit.
you buy, were you buying that Target or Walmart? Where were you
Yeah,
buying it?
everything. Albertsons, Smith's, which is the West Coast Kroger.
I remember Albertsons from being
Yeah.
out there.
I went
Smith's,
to my
Kroger just bought out Albertsons, so they're still operating under the name of Albertsons, but they're owned by Kroger now.
Oh, okay.
I went to my Target this morning on the way to the warehouse to do the hat show, and because it's the day that they restock sports cards or Pokemon cards. And I get in there, there's a line of like 25 people.
Yep.
And I'm not waiting in line. I had to go to the warehouse anyway. So even if I didn't have anywhere to go, I'm not going to wait in line for an unknown amount of time. And I did my show, came back at 12:30, and there's still people in line. And this was like 2 hours later. I'm like, and then the woman says to me, "Oh, he was already here, but we're hoping he comes back again." I'm like, you just live in Target waiting for this guy to show up to like stock the shelves.
That's what the thrift stores are like here in Utah.
Yeah.
I'll go to the late in DI, and I'll be there open, and I'll see everyone there. And then as I'm leaving, they'll sit on the couch and wait for the next cart to come back. And then sometimes I'll go hit up 3 more thrift stores, and I'll be like, well, they're putting carts out, so I'll hit up Lightning again. And the same people are still just sitting on the couch. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what those people should be on First Class Treasures or Dibbed It, not sitting in Target, or at least maybe pull up a chair, have a laptop, do some work while you're sitting in there. Right. That's what I would be doing.
And at least be productive.
Yeah. They're just all talking with each other. I did buy, and there was some Donruss Optic anyway that I got, even though they were all just standing there. So I don't know what they were doing.
They must have been waiting on Pokemon or something.
I bet so. Yeah.
I need to make a YouTube video? I just got this idea. I spent 14 hours in however long the thrift store is open and made X amount of money, and just literally stay in the thrift store all day long.
Stay in there all day long.
And just see, because like honestly, like they keep bringing out decent stuff. So I wonder if I just sat there on the couches with all the other bros and gals.
Yeah, as long as set up your computer and make it your office for the day.
Dude, I'll have my wife. I'll like DoorDash some food and stuff.
Yeah,
yeah. Like I will not leave the thrift store. Sounds fun.
Yeah,
it's a good idea. I think people will watch that. My videos have been bombing lately. All of them.
Really? You were on like a hot streak, and now you're
and it just died. I'm losing subs, which I'm always losing subs every video. But like I said, I think early on when I posted those snake shorts that did really good, I got a bunch of subscribers from them. I'm pretty sure a lot of those are dropping off.
Sorry, are you net negative on your videos, or do you just like lose 3 but gain 17?
Yeah, I always gain a few, lose a few, and on a lot of videos I'll gain 20 and I'll lose 1 or 2.
Oh yeah.
But here lately I'm putting out, every Tuesday, Friday I put out a video, and they're only getting like 150, 200 views.
Yeah.
And I was doing really good there for a while, getting more like 2,000 per video, which is a lot for me.
Yeah, I'm on your account right now. 2 days ago, 150. 6 days ago, 440. 9 days ago, 136. 13 days ago, 463. So you're like 400, 150, 400, 150.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Is there like a seasonality to it, Jake? Like where it's nicer weather, people are out more and not watching stuff, or you've been doing it longer, I think, than me, at least.
Yeah, I feel like seasonality comes into play with everything, but like with YouTube, they do say that like during the summer, usually YouTube gets less traffic because people are on the lake or at Fiji,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's always just ebbs and flows. Sometimes people just like, all right, I've already seen enough, Soda City Flips videos this week. I'll just
Yeah, he
take a little
sucks
rest.
anyways.
Enough
Not
superheroes.
even in a bad.
This
I did
this
like.
guy sucks.
Well, dude, like not even like so. Kevin has one of the most consistent channels that puts out content, and he'll get like 8,000 views every once in a while, and then he usually averages probably between like 12 and 18,000. And some people are just like, oh, I've just I love Kevin, I love the show, but I've just seen enough of him this week, so I'm just gonna skip this video and I'll watch the next one. It just happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
was laughing,
consistent.
Keith, at your members only video that you did with Andy the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Where you were ripping those cards, and I was like, Andy didn't even need to be here. he
No.
didn't contribute anything.
Yeah. You're totally correct, and that's generally the case with all of our content that we do with Andy.
It's just like
Yeah.
background music,
Well, we used to do.
I was
Yeah.
laughing. I was like, he seriously had contributed nothing to this video, but he was there. So
It's
How
funny.
did you and Andy even meet?
We grew up together. We known each other since like second grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
excuse me.
Best man at my wedding and vice versa. Or he's not married now, but his marriage first time. So yeah, long time. And he's not. I got him into reselling. I brought him onto YouTube, so he doesn't really have interest in it beyond me forcing him to come on. I don't. He enjoys it, but
That's fine.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
Andy. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I really like your videos with your wife. They're really good.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Those are hilarious.
Yeah, they're fun.
Have any of them like taken off?
No, I think the most would be like maybe 1,500, 2,000 views. I don't think any of them like much beyond that. But definitely they a lot better recently than they had been. Early on, they would do like 100 views. Now they're like consistently 400 or 500 up to 1,000. Especially if it's a sports. Like the last one I put out was like a toy. That one didn't do quite as well because I'm sport flips. But
I think they perform even better if you cut out your intro and just went straight to her. Okay, how much do you think this is? And then as she's talking, just with text on screen, you could do like POV girl who knows nothing about sports tries to guess, or
I like it.
like, or just what you say in your intro just on text. My wife knows nothing about sports memorabilia. Let's see if she can guess this price.
It's funny. She said the same thing to me. She's like, you should change that intro because that's been the same for every video. I'm like, yeah. I was trying to paint the picture, but I probably don't have to paint it anymore. It's been painted.
It is, yeah.
Right?
It is a good intro, but it's just like the world of content. Like,
yeah,
just like
you want to, yeah.
I'm gonna
That's
turn
why
the
I don't do
volume.
intros or outros for my videos.
I'm gonna turn the volume down here, Keith. But you remember I told you I couldn't comment on your shorts?
Yeah.
I want to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm not
Huh.
going to show the one with your wife. But this Lou Gehrig baseball bat one, right? This is is it playing? Okay, now it's playing, but you can see the little comment button here. When I click on it, nothing.
Huh.
It wasn't. I can like it. You see, I liked it already.
Yeah.
But I cannot comment on your videos. Only yours. I don't know why it is. Everybody
It's
else,
weird.
I click it and it works.
You've been banned.
I'll have to check.
Keith
Shadow
doesn't
ban.
like me. I must have said something disrespectful.
It's weird.
Like,
I gotta check it
never
out.
again.
Because I know when I upload on my phone, when I go down, it's like the standard one is like not allow comments. I don't know why it's on there, but I always change it. But that one I uploaded on my laptop anyway, so I'll delve into it. I know remember you mentioned that before.
Yeah, and it's every time. It like every short, because I was subscribed to you guys, I see all your stuff come across my timeline. So I generally watch everything, and I like to hit the like button, and I always like to try to comment. And I used to be able to comment on your stuff all the time because I used to say, "Man, she's so funny," she makes me laugh. Blah blah blah. I can't comment on anything anymore.
Yeah, I
Not
gotta make sure I didn't block
short
it.
form I can't. Long form I can. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, it's weird. I'll try to check into it on my end. Yeah, but that's a good idea, Jake. I'll definitely cut that out because that's something I've been thinking about. I was going to reshoot it, if anything, change it up, but I'll probably just get rid of it. There's no need for me to be there. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's just a lot of psychology that goes into content, especially short form.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I can take a crappy video and just put in a controversial. Like, I've tried this before where I'll just do a normal thrifting video and it'll get like 18,000 views, which is like, that's pretty good, but it's low for me on TikTok. And then I will just change the first 2 seconds and be like, reselling is such a scam, and it'll get 2.9 million. So it's just like,
Well,
Yeah.
one of my best performing shorts was one of the Soda City Social Lives Jake was on, and I had cut it up and made some shorts, and he was in one talking about his sobriety, and that thing freaking blew up. For me, it blew up, and people were like, you know, either like really happy that Jake lives a sober life, or they're like, that's dumb. Why do you you can't have a drink, or whatever. And people were just so many comments negatively and positively that YouTube just kept pushing it out to people, and it did pretty well.
that's the secret to like truly going viral, is to just fully commit to something that a large demographic loves and a large demographic hates. That's
Yeah.
why like the easiest way to grow on social media is to just say LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan, and you will get spit out. Like
Yeah,
the
I
reason
can
why
see it.
Jake and Logan Paul are so popular is because they are douchey frat guys, and a lot of other douchey frat guys love their energy, and the majority of people hate douchey frat guy energy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's like you can't not watch Jake Paul, even though you can say, "Oh, I hate the man." It's like, well, you know him. You know him well enough to talk about him. You have
Yeah.
obviously watched his stuff. It's just
That's funny.
yeah.
like
I like
if you want to go viral in the fitness community, just openly talk about using steroids, because a lot of people are like, "Man, I wish people understood how low risk steroids can be if you use them correctly." But 89.5% of the population is like, dude, steroids are terrible. You're such an idiot. You're destroying your home.
Yeah.
I was watching one of your TikToks, Jake, where the one where you were talking about like the things you can't make money buying this at a thrift shop, and the comments of that was awesome. Like they're like people taking you seriously. I guess you were being sarcastic in the one, if I'm thinking of the one correctly. And the comments were like every side of the people were so arguing like, why don't you know he's being sarcastic? And people are just like complaining about the video, but the comments were awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake's good at triggering people.
Yeah.
He knows the things to say that's going to get that video moving for him. So
I keep those videos off of YouTube though, because I actually want my channel to be more educational.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on TikTok and Facebook, I let them fly, man.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, my most popular videos are like, these are the worst items to buy in thrift stores, or thrifting in a rich community. Those are my top
yeah,
two.
I've seen some of those from you. Yep.
Yeah.
I gotta do better with short content, and just like my picking short content. I'll repurpose the full length video and like try to show like the item selling, and those videos do well for me when I make them, but I gotta find more time to do that.
I
haven't made this video yet, but I think it would be my most viewed short, is if I just go to a poor area and say I went thrifting in a poor neighborhood to see what I could sell on eBay.
Oh, dude, I've seen like
Yeah.
I get these random video suggestions, just like everybody else, and some of the ones that blow my mind on the amount of views they have are like, this is the poorest town in North Carolina, or
Yeah.
this is
Oh
the
no. Yeah.
what I mean?
People are
And
fascinated by it.
yeah, people, I mean, millions of views, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that, but apparently a lot of people are, because I
Yeah.
mean, it's got the views to back it up, and it's being pushed because I'm seeing it, and I've never searched anything like that in my life. So yeah, but I just thought that was strange that how well those types of videos do. So I think you're right, Jake. I think that video would kill it, man.
Oh, it's all about sex and money. If you can talk about one of those two things, like, so I follow a ton of basketball content on Instagram,
Mhm.
and it's annoying. So if you put a girl in some lingerie or a bikini on your video, even if it is not relevant to your video whatsoever, you will get significantly more views. So like a lot of times I'll just be scrolling through Instagram, and it'll like show a girl in lingerie for half a second, and then I'll get right to LeBron James dunking on someone. And it's like,
I see that too on YouTube Shorts.
yeah,
I see
exactly.
that.
Yeah, so it's like if you put that half naked woman in your video, it doesn't even have to be relevant. Men are just going to look at it because of our carnal nature, and then women will look at it and compare their bodies to theirs. It is completely primal, and it gets significantly more views. So,
Yeah,
like
that's
one of my
Yeah.
true.
friends, he has a boat charter, and he's a very religious guy. He's really awesome, but he's like, man, my videos get 200 views, and they will not break past it. And I'm like, if you put your wife in a bikini on the boat, you will get millions of views every time. And he's like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know. You know, I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's like, you got to choose what you want to do. Like, I don't, my wife is very lean and ripped. I don't exploit her body for views, you know. But
No, absolutely
if you
not.
want to, you sure can. You will get significantly more views.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah,
my
my-
most
There
viral
you go, Keith.
videos, one of my
Yes,
most
and I did.
viral videos, I follow, like,
She
when
won't go
people
for that.
walk in. Sorry, you go for it.
No, you go for it, Jake.
I was joking. I thought that's how he gets his views up. His videos with his wife, you know, she's just in a bikini instead
Dude,
of.
it really would drastically, but not worth it to most people. Not worth it.
No, no.
No, absolutely not.
But so a lot of my videos, it's the intro for my shorts are like the line walking in,
Yeah,
and that there was this girl in St. George that had hair almost to her ankles, and every time she was in front of me, I would get more views because people are just like shocked by how long her hair is, and they stay for one more second, and that one
Yeah.
more second really adds to the
Huh.
virality. So
Interesting.
yeah, but yeah, if you just have something
Jake's
that, like,
almost like genius when it comes to
no, dude,
content
I'm an idiot.
creation,
I
man.
have all of this knowledge, and I haven't made a new short form video in over 2.5 months. I'm not a genius. I'm an idiot, dude.
Do you like repost them on
Yeah.
TikTok? You do?
Yeah.
When you do that, do you delete the original or do you leave it sit? Okay.
No, I have the same Gary V video posted 7 times, and it has an average of 2 million views every single time I post it.
Okay.
So,
I gotta
yeah.
start
And I
reposting
get
stuff.
paid. I get paid the thousands every time I post it each time. So it's nice.
Because it's weird. I had a video
Huh.
a short that I put out on my YouTube channel that did like 100, maybe it's at 200,000 views now. It did awesome as a short. The same video on TikTok did like literally 26 views, like 200,000 to 26. So sometimes nothing makes sense to me, but I'm just going to repost that. Maybe
Yeah,
it'll do.
repost it. Just don't
Yeah.
do like don't have like a repost software. Like literally, like
manually
take
do
your
it.
video and you're the original file and put it back on
Okay.
TikTok.
Yeah, I'll do it that way. Yep.
I had
Cool.
a similar thing with that shark video I did when I was, you know, in Augusta, Georgia for the hurricane recovery.
Yeah.
And I found that shark lay, that fake shark laying upside down. I recorded it and just, you know, trying to bring some comedy to the situation. That video killed it on TikTok, on YouTube. Like nobody watched it.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess
Yeah.
it's two different. I think I feel, I could be wrong. I feel there's a much younger audience on TikTok that finds, you know, maybe they have a more of a sense of humor than people still watching YouTube. Maybe, I don't know, but it was impressive how much of a difference there was between the two platforms. The same video.
Yeah.
TikTok's pretty amazing, and I don't know how their algorithm or what they do, but like my wife was always sort of against me putting her videos on there, but she relented and I started putting them over on TikTok. But I understand it now a little bit because I was at work and one of my coworkers, so I've never texted this person, called. I don't have her number in my phone, but she's like, "Oh, your video popped up on my phone today." Like, is it because our phones are in proximity with each other? I guess often, or how does?
Yeah. So there is like a proximity algorithm for sure.
Yeah.
So like people in Utah view my content more because
Okay.
I'm in Utah. Yeah.
Makes sense. It's pretty amazing the technology that, you know, to that
Also kind of creepy.
it is. Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to start making TikToks again. I'm feeling good. I like creating content again, so I'm gonna start doing some more short form stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah,
I need to do it too. I don't do it enough, and I've been just so focused on trying to make sure eBay works and trying to be consistent with YouTube that I've almost completely stopped doing anything with TikTok anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never done much with Facebook or Instagram. I don't know anything about growing anywhere, but the two I've mainly focused on were YouTube and TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, there's two. I know people don't necessarily love talking about content creation, but the majority of people actually do find it fascinating. But there's basically just 2 hooks that I have found to be very good. There's the triggering hook. You just say something that triggers emotions. And then there's the curiosity hook. You just say, oh, we heard that there was this Louis Vuitton bag at our thrift store, so everyone showed up. Let's go find it, show 7 items, and then finally show the Louis Vuitton bag.
Yeah.
But like with your wife, if you sell like a Broncos hat that's worth like $150, if the first thing she says is like, I don't know why anyone would even waste their money on a Broncos hat, it's going to get significantly more.
She
views.
says stuff
Just
like that all the time.
That's her. That's not. It's not a shtick too. She's disgusted by it all. Yeah.
But if that's second 8, you're going to get significantly less views. But if it's the first second of the video, you're going to get significant.
I'll have to work on the editing a little bit for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure put her disgust right at the beginning.
Yeah. No, it really will.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It helps.
It's funny. She'll be holding stuff like with just barely.
Oh yeah. I sold this baseball hat. It was from the 1910s, and she was like, and the fortunate part with that video, that was a video I did with Andy. I used to have them compete, Andy and my wife. But having Andy in the first 3 seconds of that video, I'm sure killed that video. It's like, who the hell is this goofball?
Oh yeah, it's good stuff. But yes, I mean, to relate that to eBay, your first photo is super important. You know, like honestly, your photos and your title, if it's just better than the competitions, then you'll get more sales and you'll make more money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. Does your vase or your Murano piece have any action, or Shane? Have you put it
up for 1,000, right?
I put it up for 1,000. So we talked about it. Was the last episode, Keith? I don't remember. When you said the paper guys, that guy told you his strategy of run it at whatever you want your buy it now price to be on auction for a week. So I put it at 1,000, and it's got views, no real action yet or anything like that, but it's getting views, so that's good. At least
so you did do the auction thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, drafts are working, or pictures. Nice. I mean,
nice.
Good. That's good to know. So when we're done here, I'll be able to actually get my listings done. So that's awesome. But yeah, it's got views, which is good because as long as people are seeing it, there's a potential to find a buyer. So
yeah,
you could run it on First Class Treasures and get $16 for it.
I don't know, man. I ran that sterling silver goblet. It's like a $500 goblet. I got 161 for it, and I was thrilled because I had a quarter into it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that one though, it's just people know the melt weight, so they're like, okay, minimum. Yeah, I'll get my money back.
It's inherent cash on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It had a 200, just over like a 205 melt weight. So $205 for this guy paid 161. And if he wants to wait 4 years on the right buyer, he'll get, 400 to 500 for it. Yeah. I wasn't willing to wait that long.
Dude, I'm really excited for tomorrow, Friday, which will be a few days in the past because it'll be Monday when we launch this. But Michigan Reseller, he's doing a 4-hour video game show on First Class Treasures.
Oh, wow.
He's bringing like Pokemon Switch games and NES games.
Anthony actually called me about, he was excited for this show.
Yeah,
he's like, man, I don't want anybody else to show up.
Oh, dude, so many. Dude. I mean, I'm pushing it out a little more than I normally do for shows, so there should be hopefully a good audience.
I'd love to try to do like a 24-hour stream or something where just like an endurance, have like 12 Red Bulls ready to go. Just try to push yourself to the limit. That would be it would be painful. I need some help.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah,
it would definitely be painful.
And then the shipping would be a disaster, but it would be sort of fun. Because I know Dave did some of them, right? He did like some 12-hour streams from his storage unit.
He did some long ones from his shipping container.
Did Dave and Art of Resell, did they team up once? Because I know that he does that.
I think I remember something like that. Yeah,
I know he does that with people where like he'll go for 4 hours straight, and then someone else will go for 4, and then he'll finish off with another 4. But
yeah.
I think I remember him and Art doing that.
Yeah. I know Art does it. I couldn't remember if it was with Dave or not though. And I've seen Art do it with other people too.
Art's such a funny dude, man.
Yeah.
Dude, when I went to Vegas, I met him like the first time and then a second time, and he's like, "Bro, you're no fun, dude. You're just here to work." That's funny. He's like, when I go out with Sonny and Carrie, we just hang out, dude. Why are you working?
Yeah, even on his streams, he simply gets a party, right? When he's in his garage on whatnot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he used to hit me up about books and stuff. I think he learned enough to where he doesn't really reach out to me anymore. But for a while, anytime he would come across books, he would hit me up on Instagram or whatever and ask questions. But yeah, I've been in a lot of his shows, and he's got that energy. You know, sometimes he's not even wearing a shirt, just
Yeah.
out there selling stuff, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of selling stuff, I told Shane about this on Instagram, but did you see the did the cards break last night, Jake? Did you hear about that all? So Tim did a break, a Bowman baseball break, and it was killer. And he hit. Thankfully it was my purchase in the break. Hit like a monster card, a signed out of 99 Dylan Cruz auto off of out of Bowman. But it was awesome, an awesome break. And his Tim's reaction. I mean, Tim's a great talker too. It was an awesome show.
Doesn't Tim do like sports broadcasting too?
Yeah, he has a show, Authentic in the Beard. It's like an
Yeah.
NFC East football show, which is awesome too. I mean, they've really, those two guys, Authentic and Tim, legitimate. I've told them on stream, they could be on better than most NFL broadcasts. If they were in a booth, put him instead of Tom Brady and whoever else is Tom Brady's doing it with, they would be better at doing a broadcast. Those two guys.
I'm sure Tim would be really good at like play-by-play too.
Yeah.
He has that. The quick and the throws in some sayings and some jokes.
I can't stand hearing Tom Brady when I'm watching football, and I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, yeah,
I really like
a lot of these.
Tony Romo is good.
What's his name? With the gap tooth from the Giants,
Strahan.
Strahan. He's great. I love it. You know, when he's calling the game or whatever. But anytime Brady's on there, I'm just like, dude, you sound like an idiot. Shut up, man. And I know that's
I really like Tony
people,
Romo. But I like the way that Tony Romo calls the games, and he does play-by-play too. Tom Brady has never done like a play-by-play, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
But I don't think Romo's like, he talks as much as a play-by-play guy, but I think he's more of a color commentator. But he talks the whole time. His play-by-play guy is not talking much.
Exactly. Well, because he's like, oh no, yeah, this is going to be a drop 4 coverage. Oh yeah, no, see that? Yeah, I faced this against this exact team multiple times. Yeah, he's going to do it. Button, you know.
I will say this: he knows a lot about football, but he could never win a playoff game. But he's diagnosing everything from the booth, right? I mean, you got to see it from the.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson is the same way. Like he can just he goes viral every once in a while because he'll just like break down the opponent's plays, and it's like,
oh really?
Why didn't you execute that?
Yeah, from a different angle. Yeah, when the pass rushers are coming at you, you don't think the same, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's so live sports is so hard because like we all have a bird's eye view. Like dude, he can't see the cornerback dropping into coverage or blitzing. Like he's literally turned away, and then all of a sudden he's getting cracked in the ribs from the left side. We can obviously see it because we have the camera bird's eye view, but I played football. You can't see a lot through that little visor, man.
Especially when you're a quarterback and you have like 6'9" offensive linemen in front of you. It's not like you can see over top of them, right? You're like peering through windows. So it's a lot more difficult than it looks.
I hope I haven't talked about this on the podcast already, but like Jalen Hurts is considered a tallish quarterback. He's like what, 6'1", 6'2"?
He's I would say 6 foot. I don't know exactly. I'll look it up. Maybe 6'1".
Well, then we forget how big basketball players are because there was a picture with him and Jaylen Brown, and Jaylen Brown is 6'7", 230, and he makes Jalen Hurts look tiny. It's weird. Like basketball players are just like Joel Embiid is such a massive human being. Like he would make an offensive lineman look relatively small in the NFL. It's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is Shane frozen? I mean, I think no. And we're back. You guys didn't even realize we were gone.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I lost everything. I went black, and then all you guys were black in the spinning wheel. So I'm like, I didn't know if it was just me or we all. So I paused it.
700 megabyte internet sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry, I broke up your conversation there.
No worries. But yeah, dude, like Jalen Hurts, bigger professional quarterback, professional football player, just looks tiny compared to Jaylen Brown. It's so weird.
Oh yeah. I'm looking up right now how tall he is. I don't know.
How tall is so Tom Brady is like 6'1". I feel like that's like the sweet spot for a quarterback is between like 6 and 6'4". After that,
Yeah.
it's advantageous to be tall, but then you're a little too gazelle and lanky, and so
Yeah.
not
Not
That was-
gazelle.
athletic.
Bambi is.
I don't-
It's,
I don't know how tall Peyton Manning was, but
I think he was 6'4".
that was a lanky. He wasn't great at moving around. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, he was also freaking like an unathletic white.
Yeah,
Bambi.
well, and it's crazy because you think, all right, so Peyton Manning was 98, and then you look at the quarterbacks of today. These guys, like, there's a lot of records that'll never be broken because
Well, Manning's 6'5".
the quarterbacks they're training these days. Like, look at the South Carolina Gamecocks, Lenora Sellers. This dude is amazing throwing. He's a great passer. He's a great runner. Peyton Manning could never be that guy. You know what I mean? Like that was a completely different quarterback back then than what they're training today. These quarterbacks they're breeding today are completely different beasts. They're more involved in like everything. They're not just passing the ball anymore. They're all over the place. And I think because of that, there's a lot of records that are never going to be broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says here Peyton and Eli Manning are both 6'5". It says Tom Brady's 6'4". I don't know if I believe that.
I
know
would
he's
have never
taller.
thought Eli was that tall. He doesn't
Yeah.
look that tall to me.
No, yeah. Yeah, and Hurts is 6'1". You were right. Yeah. So it's a difficult.
6'4".
Eli, I always thought Eli looked super unathletic. I mean, I always felt he was super overrated, but the dude won 2 Super Bowls. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's loathed in Philadelphia.
Dude, I don't know, just the way that we all critique sports, it's just so funny. Like, dude, I would love to be considered overrated and have 2 Super Bowls. I'd love to.
Right.
It's weird. It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
Part of me for Eli, anytime he was about to get sacked, he would just crumple to the ground or slide down. He'd never, as an Eagles fan, you never got
wouldn't
to see him
take it?
get clobbered. Yeah, I wanted to see him get clobbered,
Yeah.
and he never gave that to the Eagles fans. So I hate him for that reason.
Or like Scottie Pippen, he's like the second best player on the greatest team of all time, and people are like, "Oh, dude, like that would suck to be Scottie Pippen." Like, it would suck. It would suck to make millions of dollars and get 6 championships. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Even though his contract was pretty bad, he was still making a ton of money and had so much fame and fortune. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah. I'm sure most people would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Kind of like me, you know, like I'm like the third on the rung compared to you guys, and I'm just happy to be here.
You got to be satisfied with where we are, right? Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm doing my break tonight. A little nervous. I'm never get nervous about a live stream. A little nervous about that though, because I feel like it's a little more pressure. And I rip packs all the time on Hops and Hits, which is and on my channel, but it's a little more nerve wracking when you're handling other people's cards.
Well, I think that's the factor is a lot of things could go wrong. Like you could open a pack, get a mega card, and then you like drop it and it dings a corner, and it's like, like that's something to be nervous about, you know.
A little more pressure, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure once I get the first one out of the way, I'll be all right. But
yeah, you'll do fine for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the break. I didn't realize there was one going on last night, but I saw your video you sent on Instagram, and I was just happy to see that somebody doing a break didn't have them stupid white gloves like on their hands. You know what I mean? Like I get, the fingerprint thing, but I don't put gloves on, and people like whenever I do post videos, people are like, "Why don't you put gloves on? You need to have gloves on." And I'm like, "No, I don't feel like I do. Like I'm not sitting here sweating. I'm not sweating over here. Got steak grease dripping off my fingers. Like I'm clean. I'm dry."
Would you rather permanently have Cheeto dust on your fingers, or have everything on this planet taste like Oreos for the rest of your life?
Oh wow,
I'll go Cheeto dust.
Yeah, I gotta go Cheeto dust.
Oh,
man.
dude, that would just you can't type on your computer. You'll go through an expensive computer every quarter.
I don't mind the Oreo every now and then, but they're not my favorite, so I wouldn't want everything to taste like that.
An Oreo is like a 6 out of 10, but when you dunk it in milk, it's a 10 out of it dramatically gets better. It's so good.
For sure. For
Yeah.
I've never been a dunker myself. I would dip them in peanut butter, but I feel like
Oreos
that's
and peanut butter?
yeah. But I don't eat chocolate anymore, so that's an old. I don't do it at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
The best way to do it is you shove a fork into the cream and then you can
Yeah.
put it in the milk.
Oh
It's
wow,
so good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
The professional here, Jake.
Dude, I love Oreo. I don't eat a lot of that stuff either, but when I do, I eat 18.
Yeah.
You guys know Jim Gaffigan?
Yep.
Yeah, he's one of
Yeah.
my favorite comedians. I
Dude,
love him.
one of his funniest jokes that just is kind of always in my head with me every second of my life for some reason is like when he's talking about the blueberry muffins, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just have like 2 or 12."
Yeah. I like when he's talking about sports and he's talking about bowling, how people say bowling's a sport. And he's like, I don't think you can call it a sport if you can smoke while you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I saw Jim Gaffigan live in Salt Lake City. He just said the best joke of all time. Culturally, it was just so perfect. So he walks out on stage in Salt Lake and we give him a standing ovation, and like we don't stop. Like it was literally like 6 or 7 minutes straight. Like we just wouldn't even let him talk. And then finally in his little voice he just goes, "Okay, fine, I'll convert. Send me your elders and baptize me. I can do the magical underwear." It's so funny.
That's
good.
funny.
It was great, man.
I love him, man. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, dude. Good old Jim Gaffigan. Have you guys ever been to a live comic before?
Yeah, I've been to a few.
I want to see Matt Rife. I think Matt Rife is pretty funny.
My wife wants to see him.
Just because he's
He's
hot.
probably he is funny dude though. All the chicks think he's hot, but
I don't know who
he
that
is a
is.
funny dude. He's a young kid that just kind of blew up in the last year on social media. He said funny.
He said it's all due to TikTok. He averages like 40 million views on TikTok every hour. Man, it's wild.
That's crazy.
I'm looking him up, not because he's hot. Just want to see who he is.
I'd love to see Shane Gillis too.
Your wife knows who he is.
I'll ask her.
Dude, like
Shane Gillis is funny. Yeah.
When it comes to comedians and politics, I like it when they just like unashamedly kind of let you know, oh, I'm conservative or I'm liberal, and then just roll with it and make fun of both sides. But it's the comedians that like, okay, I don't want them to actually know that I'm a conservative, or I don't want people, you know. So like Shane Gillis is funny, dude. He'll just go out there and he'll be like, "What's up, Republicans? Let's do it." You know, it's so funny. Oh, he's hilarious. Good old Shane Gillis.
I don't think I've ever been to a comedy concert. Maybe I went to a comedy show once, but it wasn't like any big name comedians. I don't think I have.
Many years ago, I was in Asheville, North Carolina, and the hotel I was staying at had a comedy club in the basement of it. And I couldn't tell you the guy's name now, but he was one of the writers for the Martin show. You remember that, Keith? Martin Lawrence TV show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shanae. Yeah. One of the writers for that show, one of the funniest dudes I've ever seen. And he never really amounted to much as far as like the bigger name comedians go, but dude, he was hilarious. He was a big, tall, giant guy, and he was absolutely hilarious. And I can't remember his name, but yeah, he was a writer for one of the writers for the Martin show. So that's why I wanted to see him, because that show was hilarious. So I was like, I know this dude's going to be good. And
do you guys know Louis C.K.?
Yeah, he got himself he got himself in trouble quite often.
Well, so I didn't like super love him. I really like started listening to stand-up comedy like 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah. And when I first started like listening to it, I didn't really like Louis C.K. But then one time I gave him a shot, and he just goes out there and he makes abortion funny on both sides of the political spectrum for like 15 minutes, and I'm like, all right, do that. Because he's like, yeah, abortion is just like really bad unless it's good. Then just do it, but don't do it if you don't want to. It is funny.
I like him. He's said quite a lot of things that's got himself into some trouble here and there, but
yeah,
I mean, that's the kind of comedian I like, though. I think.
Yeah, me too.
Ones that they don't hold back. You know, they're not afraid to say what they believe.
Yeah.
And then there's Bill Burr. He's like, try to cancel me. I don't care.
Oh, Bill Burr's the great. He's my favorite. Bill Burr's my favorite. I've never seen him live. Would absolutely love to, but I know Lindsay probably not going to be a big Bill Burr fan.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll ever get to see him, but I would love to. He's my favorite.
Bill Burr, what a guy.
I watched the Louis C.K. TV show, whatever. I forget that didn't last super long, but it was like an oddly
Yeah.
comedic, like sort of depressing show, if I remember it.
I never
But,
saw it, but I remember it.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. The Jim Gaffigan got a series, and it went for like 2 or 3 seasons, I think. But again, it just
I didn't know that.
It wasn't like super funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
When comedians try to do those like series, it's just kind of weird, I guess.
Well, like
Yeah.
Kevin James, King and Queen of whatever that was.
Yeah. King Queens.
He had stand-up show that I saw way back in the day, and it was absolutely hilarious. And it was in New York City, and I just remember laughing and laughing and laughing. And then I start seeing those episodes, and a lot of his comedy that was in that show I saw he was using in the TV show, and I thought that was weird. It's like we already know these jokes. Why are they showing up? 5 years later in your sitcom. Still
It
a
makes
funny
sense.
show, but
Yeah.
but
I never saw him
Yeah.
at stand up, but I was a huge fan of King of Queens. More for I love Kevin James more for I'm
the
blanking
chick.
on Jerry Seinfeld. No, Jerry
The dad.
yeah, what's his name?
Oh, he's Arthur on King of Queens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Jerry Stiller.
Stillers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. Yeah,
Yeah, he's funny.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
Did that episode where he like invents a new screwdriver head?
Oh yeah, the Arthur's head.
The Arthur's
Yeah.
head. That's a classic one.
Yeah. And
So
then
it's
got-
like, I mean, like Queens, Philadelphia. I kind of like picture them as very, very similar. Am I completely off by that?
no, that's probably correct. Yeah, I would say it's a suburb of New York. Probably probably somewhat similar.
I liked Queens. I was in New York City, and I've been all over the country, but New York was one of my favorite places. Maybe just from being a Southern boy, experiencing the big city it wasn't the first big city I've ever been to, but there's not a whole lot of places like Manhattan or the 5 boroughs in general. But Queens was a lot of fun. But we were there while they were filming American Gangster. Oh, that was cool, man. We got to just we were working on rooftops because there's not a lot of cell phone towers downtown like that, so it's a lot of rooftops. But we're up there working, and they're shooting scenes in the streets, and that was pretty cool. That was a cool movie too, Denzel.
Good stuff.
American Gangster.
How often do you guys like go to the movie theater nowadays?
Not often.
Yeah.
I did take my
once this year.
stepdaughter. My stepdaughter and I went on a little daddy-daughter date to see Moana 2 recently when it came out.
Yeah.
Which was what, like a month or 2 ago?
We're gonna go see the new Mission Impossible, I think. Okay, is that tonight or is that tomorrow? I think it might be tonight.
I didn't even know
and
it
that's
was
like
an
the
Mission.
first movie I'll have seen in theaters in over 2 years, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife and I don't go I couldn't tell you the last one she and I went and saw. It was probably when my mom and I are big shark fans. We love sharks.
Shark Week.
I was about to say, whenever I was a kid, that was the 1 week I could stay up past my bedtime was to, watch Shark Week with my mom. But I think the last movie we went and saw was with my mom and my stepdad to see The Meg when it came out. Not part 2, but the first one. That might be the last movie we had gone to see together.
I just bought a Monster Jam Megalodon for 75 cents today. Sells for about $12.
Heck yeah.
There you go. This little flip.
Yeah.
I want to see the movie with Tim Robinson. You guys know Tim Robinson? He's a comedian. He's hilarious.
I love Tim Robinson too.
Yeah. He's got a movie.
Familiar.
It's what is the name of his show?
I Think You Should Leave.
I think you should leave. Yeah. It's a very odd humor, but I mean some of the stuff
it's a lot like SNL skits.
Yeah.
Just back to back to back.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I recognize this dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in a major picture, which is sort of odd. It doesn't seem like he would get that kind of film, but he's with Paul. Is it Paul Rudd? I think is in with it. I
like Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
Paul
Rudd's pretty good.
Have you guys ever watched Portlandia?
No, I don't think
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, but I never
Brett
saw it.
Arneson. So I like You have to have the right kind of humor for it. I love it, but it's similar to I Think You Should Leave and SNL and stuff like that.
Oh, it's a sketch show, or is it like
Yeah, just a
okay.
ton of sketches in a row. It's
Oh,
fun.
I
Yeah.
didn't even realize that. I've heard of it, but I never saw it. I have to check it
Yeah,
out
I've never
then.
watched it.
Portland,
And I know who Fred Armisen is.
yeah. Fred Armisen, dude, he's a funny guy. Dude, I love Bill Hader. Bill Hader's so
Oh
funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like Bill Hader.
When he comes on the on SNL as Stefan, that's so funny. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
I always loved all sketch comedies. And that seemed like it's a dying art. I mean, but I guess it's not if there's Tim Robinson and Portlandia.
Well, it got super, like, it's always been political, but it got overly political during this Trump era, and I feel like a lot of people have kind of distanced themselves from it because they don't want politics in every single aspect of their life. But I think it's starting to come back a little more again.
Yeah,
I really enjoy it. I like watching SNL here and there.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
Yeah. I always, growing up, my dream job, I would tell everyone that I was going to host the Tonight Show. It was going to be the Tonight Show with Jake Ryder every night. And I was going to host SNL a couple of times, and it was going to be awesome. But now I just sell junk on the internet.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, the last few seconds of the podcast.
Keith remembered.
Yeah, I want to make sure I remember before the end to get our members up there. Yeah. Well, I don't know if there were any new members, since I forgot to ask you early on, Jake, if there were any new members. I think the last one I had was the Eagles and Beagles.
Let's see here.
But yeah, while Jake's checking though, thanks to the channel members, we got Eagles and Beagles, Caleb Sells.
Oh no, those are subscribers. I'm like, wow, we just blew up with some. Nope. No, yeah, Eagles and Beagles 9 days ago was the last one. And now that we're putting this at the very last second of the podcast, we will get 0 additional members.
Yeah, I got to remember earlier. Yeah. I had technical difficulties over here, which is not unusual for me. I think it happened with Dan, or happened a couple weeks ago. So, but yeah, thanks Eagles and Beagles, Caleb Sells, Joe from Virginia, Sarah Sells Smalls, Archie Biscuit Butt, and then the 3 of us, and our anonymous member as well. So thank you to all of you for being members. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. It's funny, Joe from Virginia. I have a Rick in Maryland subscribed to my channel. Rick's a good dude.
Good old Rick.
Good old Rick.
I had a viewer reach out to me regarding an item that they couldn't figure anything about. I think it was Dryden flips. You guys know Dryden flips?
Yeah.
No, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, he's on First Class. He's been pretty active on First Class Treasures.
Yeah, he said he watched this over here, and he sent me a message. It was a pretty cool item. It was a little oddball piece that I was able to find it for him and sent him the description of it. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yes, thanks for watching Dryden Flips. I think it was Ken. Ken. He was a great goaltender for Montreal, I think.
Mike, his name's PB. It used to be PBD, but I guess too many people said PDB, and it was like annoying him, so he changed his name. He just did his first show on First Class Treasures, and it was good. It started a little slow, but he ended up selling a ton of shirts, and it was a good time.
That's awesome.
Dude, I just not to shamelessly plug First Class Treasures. It's just such a community over there. It's awesome. I love putting faces to people and just like meeting all of these people that I never would have had. I never would have had the chance to. So
I gotta get on there again soon. I haven't done as much live stream recently, but I've done a fair amount, but I cut back a little bit. But do you feel it's like a totally different? When last time I sold there, it's like a different group of people than on Divot. It's not like all carrying over. There's some overlap, but it seemed like there were some distinct populations.
Yeah, for sure.
In each. You feel that way? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm actually Deal Soldier. I've done a lot of work with them, and they have a huge Discord server. And he's like, "Yeah, man, advertise your platform over here." So I'm really helping it because they're all resellers.
Awesome.
Most of them are retail arbitrage, but a lot of them have eBay stores and hit thrift stores and stuff. So it'll be really nice.
Good. I've still been doing a fair amount of Whatnot, because what I'll do on Whatnot, and I feel bad doing this anywhere on District, but I'll just sort of sometimes I'll just sit there on Whatnot and say, hey, if you guys are looking for certain teams, let me know if I'm selling pennants. Because if the longer you sit there, you get people coming in, you get sales. But I feel like when I'm doing a District sale, I want to have things listed, or at least constantly showing things, running things, not just sitting there and hey, man, I'm sitting here when you're ready for what you want me to show you.
Oh, so on Whatnot, you'll just like kind of sit there with the camera facing you and just like kind of
Sometimes,
chat a little bit.
sometimes, or I'll just have it facing a pile of pennants.
That's funny. I never I noticed it, but it never clicked that you did that, because I'm like, it's a completely different show on Whatnot than you do over anywhere on District. So that's kind of cool. It just never clicked to me. But I used to do the same thing when I sold books over there.
Yeah.
Some days would be, very strategic crowd I'm trying to pull in, like a vintage sci-fi paperback crowd. But then some days I would just go on there and I would title the show "Scan the Shelves" or something like that. And I would literally just turn the camera around, face the shelves, and I'd just the whole show, I'd just say, "Hey, let me know if you see something you want." And I would constantly sell things. People would have, requests and stuff.
And there was, to be honest, there was one day, it was not a great show that I was doing, but I just had my phone facing my little backdrop over here with like a sign, tell me what team you're looking for. And I was listing on eBay on my computer right here and checking the screen. And I did sell stuff. You just, as you sit, the longer you sit there, people come in and they're looking for things. So, but it's like exhausting to talk for like 2 hours straight, and show pens for 2 hours straight. So sometimes I just sit there and let them come in and show them when they ask. But
that's another thing. When I was on Whatnot, I always had 2 hour shows, but on anywhere on District, it's always like an hour. I don't ever go really over.
Yeah. So it's definitely different. I do it differently, and that's why I've been doing some Whatnot still. I like to still do some over that style.
Are you not doing any on Whatnot now, Shane?
No, I haven't. I think I'm going to do one more, and this is bad, but I'm going to
some bridges.
I'm a
napalm.
You know me. I'm probably going to just jump on there and promote the ever living crap out of District. not District necessarily, but Crooked Spine.
Throw First Class Treasures in there too. I'll write you a check.
Yeah, I've got a lot of Crooked Spine flyers printed out, or little postcards I made with QR codes and stuff like that, and I may want to run one more good show over on Whatnot.
Even if it's just a giveaway show, Shane, just give away stuff for like 2 hours. I mean, and have them just shout out your channel thing over and over again. I bet there's a good chance you wouldn't even hear anything about it. They wouldn't even kick you off.
Yeah, no, Whatnot has grown so much. They have AI bots and things like that, but they don't like Kerry American Arbitrage was doing a card show. And then I'm like, hey, why aren't you on Dibdit? And he like was interacting back and forth with me about it for a minute.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'll probably do one more grandiose show over there where I promote the ever living crap out of the Crooked Spine and other places that I sell at. And like I said, throw some of these postcards in that I had created, some stickers, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I did get Katie Reed signed up, so that's awesome.
Oh,
she's awesome. Yeah, I like her. She's a great community member for sure.
Yeah, she's not really big into sci-fi, horror, or fantasy, but if she promotes to her crowd, she's got enough followers. A good bit of them are interested in that kind of stuff. So, and of course, we on the crookedspine.com, that's what we static list. But when it comes to live sales, we sell whatever. We got a comic book raid train coming up on June the 3rd, I think. So
cool.
That'll be cool. CW Collectibles is putting that together.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah.
Well, boys, it's been a great podcast.
Yeah.
I got Keith.
Except where Keith paused us for a little while.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, you have a great. That was the best conversation you probably had on the podcast. I wasn't there, and then I paused it mid sentence. Probably.
We were just talking about how big Jaylen Brown's biceps were compared to Jalen Hurts. So.
Yeah, wasn't a very awesome conversation, but no, it was good. It was fun.
Absolutely.
You guys got anything to plug?
You go, Shane. You have anything coming up?
No, not really. Just my normal scheduled stuff. I kind of wish we could have promoted Hops and Hits tomorrow night a little better. But no,
we'll see. Maybe I'll try to get this if I can put it out. We'll see if we can get it out tomorrow morning. I'll see what I can do, and if I can get a thumbnail done. Might as well promote it, Shane, in case. Let's put in case.
Yeah, just in case. Hops and Hits simulcast. There's 5 YouTube channels, guys, that are participating in this. Four people, 5 channels. You got myself, Soda City Flips, and Soda City Rips. You got Keith, Vintage Sport Flips, and Rips and Brews, and our good buddy Sean over at the Real Life Perspective Show. It's called Hops and Hits because we get a little beer tasting and a little card ripping done. Some of us like to get creative and try to match a beer that we think represents the cards we're opening. And so it can get kind of fun. It's a lot of fun, actually. And
Yeah,
we hope to see you guys there once a month. So we all promote it a good week in advance, usually on our own channels and stuff. So if you follow any of us, you should already know about it. But
yeah, it's awesome. Look, it's my favorite Friday night of the month for sure. It's a great time. See, that'll be tonight if I get this out on Friday. And then otherwise, I put a video out at my channel every Saturday, 1 o'clock. I have a live every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. on my channel. We do a giveaway every week in that show. And this upcoming week, next Wednesday, we're doing a joint show with the $1 Million Peddlers podcast. So that'll be a fun one, fun live. So a little different. Yeah.
And
awesome.
My name is Ryan. Check me out on Rally Roots here on YouTube. And we appreciate you guys coming to the podcast.
That's right.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Bye.